I have been a cheer coach for over 23 years, and I've owned my gym for over 13 years. And I am going to be going deep into this with you. I'm going to be getting emotional and raw with you today to talk to you about the 10 things that we wish we could say to parents as gym owners and coaches. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Cheer Biz Podcast. I'm your host, Dan Cotton, and today we are going to be talking about what we wish we could say, 10 things that coaches and gym owners wish they could tell their parents or wish they knew their parents understood. Now, before we get into the episode, please make sure that you have gone over to Cheer Gym Owners on Facebook if you're a gym owner and join that group, or All-Star Cheer Coaches and Owners and join that group if you're a coach or a coach and an owner. You need the support, you guys. This is a tough industry. It is a tough sport to be involved in, and there are some great conversations and really great people there to help support you. I also got to tell you, if you have ever wanted to learn from me in person or Shelly Shepard, we are going to be hosting a 2-day intensive event called the Cheer Biz Accelerator at my gym, Oregon Dream Teams in Tigard, Oregon, in our new facility, October 9th and 10th of 2025. We're going to be doing deep dives into your businesses, giving you exact strategies of how you can grow and truly accelerate your gym. So if you're a gym owner, you're not going to want to miss this event. If you're on the West Coast or specifically the Pacific Northwest and you can just drive, you've got to take advantage of this. We are doing them throughout the year at our various locations. So make sure you get signed up for a Cheer Biz Accelerator today. You can get signed up and find out if you qualify by going to our website, nextgenowners.com, going to the Cheer Biz Accelerator page and filling out the form, and we will get on the phone with you to see if you qualify to come to the event. All right, everyone. So this has been weighing on my mind. I have had a number of conversations with gym owners, with coaches, as I've traveled the country doing choreography, working with various gyms, and also been having conversations with parents within my own gym and hearing the struggles and the challenges that people are going through as gym owners and as coaches. And I just was like, you know what? I'm gonna put together an episode of the things that we wish we could say to our parents, or the things that we wish parents truly understood. And I'm recording this episode for a couple reasons. Number one is it's cathartic for me. Number two is so that you know if you have felt this way, if you have gone through these things, or if you wish you could say these things, or that parents understood these things, that you're not alone. You are probably not the exception. You are the rule, because I think this is very universal concepts. And lastly, for the parents that listen, so you guys can hear this stuff, because I think it is valid for parents to hear things from a gym owner or a coach's perspective, just like I think it's valid for us to hear things from your perspective. Hashtag Cheer Mom Podcast. Make sure you go listen to those, because there's some really great content there. So let's get into it. These are the 10 things that we wish we could say, 10 honest truths from gym owners and coaches. So the reality is that we do this job. We do own these gyms because we love the sport of cheerleading. Most of us follow a similar journey to ownership. It is, I was an athlete or I was a coach in a gym, and I've always loved the sport and I wanted to give back, or I saw my gym was going to be closing, or I saw a area of the community that didn't have access to great cheerleading instruction, so I thought I could open a facility. And as a coach, most of us get into it because we love the sport of cheerleading. We love to share that love of the sport of cheerleading with athletes that are in the same place we were when we fell in love with the sport. So it's cool to share that experience. And most of us believe that this isn't just a job, it's a calling. It's something that we were meant to do. The long hours, the constant emotional investment, the struggles to push your athletes to be in the gym, oftentimes not getting paid a high amount of money, is done because we love cheerleading and we love impacting kids through the sport of cheerleading. It is truly what gets us motivated and gets us excited. we believe in the power of the sport to transform athletes into better versions of themselves. And I will tell you, the reason I got into coaching was my gymnastics coach. And I've told kids this over the years. My gymnastics coach was hugely impactful on my life. He was truly a second father figure. I had a great dad. I have a great dad. My dad was amazing when I was younger, but he was very busy. He worked a lot. And I had my gymnastics coach. His name was Tim, and he really invested in us boys. He really spent the time to teach us how to be good young men of character, to hold our heads high, to do things the right way, to be a team. And I always set out to, as a young coach, I just want to impact one athlete the same way that he impacted me. If I can do that, then this is worth it. And that has always been my goal, is to impact athletes on that level. Now, I can, at first, when I was younger, I would say, I don't know that I've done it. People would say, oh, you've done it. And I'd be like, no, I don't know that I have. I can unashamedly say I know that I have achieved that, but it doesn't mean I can't do more. Now I've broken through that glass ceiling, and I can now it's not just one kid, it's 10, it's 100, it's 1,000 athletes that I want to be able to impact in that same kind of positive way. And when it came to opening our gym, Tori and I we loved the sport, and the gym we were at was not running super well. And so we saw the opportunity to make an offer and take it over, because we knew it was going to close if we didn't do that. And so we did. And here we are now 13 years later in a new facility, the biggest facility in the state of Oregon, and we're loving it. And it's going pretty amazing. But we do this because we love the sport. Almost no one starts a cheer gym with the intention of getting rich on the front end. Now, do I now absolutely do cheerleading to help build a financial future for my family? Yes, absolutely. This is what I do for a living. It is all I do. I used to do full-time police work, and that's how we paid our rent or our mortgage. That's how we paid our bills, was what came in through my payroll. And we didn't really worry about paying ourselves very much from the gym. And then over the years, that started to shift, and I started more companies, and it was like, no, I should be compensated for all of the work that I'm doing. But we ultimately do this because we love the sport. Number two is that we wish that parents understood or knew, or we could tell them that when you look at the cost sheet and you go, man, that's expensive, that many of the costs are way outside of our control. The majority of cost in all-star cheerleading doesn't ever go into the gym beyond we charge you for it, and then we pay a company for it. When we buy uniforms, when we hire choreographers, when we attend cheer camps, when we pay for music, when we go to competitions, all of those things are us paying outside vendors. And it is our responsibility to be good stewards of your money. And we try to negotiate, and we try to get the best possible deals. But at the end of the day, we are not fully in control of the delivery of the sport. What we can deliver to you is to what happens within our walls. That is what we deliver to you, and that is what is truly in our control. Now, yes, we can choose what choreographers we work with. We can choose what camps we go to, what comps we go to, what music providers we use. But oftentimes what ends up happening is parents ask for those things. They say, we want more rhinestones. They say, we want better music. They say, we want more famous choreographers or more celebrities to come in and do camps in the gym. And all of those things have expenses tied to them. So those things often add up very, very quickly. If you look at even my cost sheet, running a financially successful cheer gym, what stays in the gym, what supports the rent and the payroll and the owner's compensation and our front desk and all of our equipment, all those things, what stays in the gym is the tuition. That the training fee or the tuition is what stays in the gym. And then we have our assessments, and those are all of the fees that are more transactional. They are the competition fees, the uniform fees, and all of those other things. And yes, we can choose what competitions we go to, but we are a summit gym. So that means we have to go to varsity events, which means varsity sets the prices, and we have very little negotiating power. So those things are all very, very real, and we have very little control of it. So we do our best. And believe me when I tell you, gym owners spend so many hours working diligently on trying to keep their cost sheet as low as they can, trying to keep from raising costs any more than they have to. Now, costs are going to raise with inflation. That is just an inevitability. Everything is more expensive, but we need to also try to keep things financially feasible for our clients. And I know gym owners who have agonized about their cost sheet at great length, trying to figure out how they can make things more affordable for families. And oftentimes the thing they cut first is the tuition, the thing that actually keeps the business that you're attending afloat. And then they keep those other things that just are pass-through fees. If anything, if you really want to see this sport come down in cost, then we need to stop demanding the most expensive products and allow gym owners the flexibility to go to other competition companies, other uniform providers, other music providers. And I'm not saying the ones that you have are expensive. I'm just saying it allows capitalism and the ability for the market to adjust. It allows us to cost save by negotiating. And if we can expand and there are more opportunities, it gives us that negotiating power. So opening that up for your gym owners is very helpful. Like if our families all said to us one day, hey, Dan, we don't want to go to Summit anymore. And we've asked many a times, we'd be totally okay with not going to Summit. We could probably take $3,000 to $4,000 of expense off of our families. Now, not all of that is us. Some of that would be like hotels and even just Summit itself or D2 Summit, because we could remove an end of season event in Florida. It's expensive to go to Florida. Like that's just the facts. And I'm not saying they're price gouging or either. Like, know that I'm not saying that, but it is expensive to go to Disney World, to go to Florida, to pay for D2 or D1 Summit. In fact, many of our families spend what they spend for an entire season to cheer at our gym to attend Summit by bringing, both parents and a sibling, and they make it a family vacation. But that event costs more than our entire season at our gym. Number 3, we do not enjoy hurting kids' feelings. I think this is such a huge one because I have had so many people over the years. And when I say so many, it's not like an outrageous amount, but every gym owner, every coach has had people over the years say, you're just a mean person. You just enjoy hurting kids' feelings, or you're picking on my child because you don't like them, or you're moving them to the back because you hate them or something like that. And we don't. We absolutely don't. Taking a kid out of a routine and replacing them with an alternate, changing a kid's position, delivering really harsh feedback and saying, hey, you're not cutting it. You need to step up, or you've lost your skills. We need to move you to another team. None of those things are fun. We dread those conversations. We absolutely, positively do not look forward to hurting a kid's feelings. I don't know a single coach who gets excited about that. I've known the occasional coach who gets excited, like who's like, oh yeah, let me go talk to that parent because they want to like put someone in their place. They look forward to like a harsh argument. But no, I've never met anyone who enjoys that with kids. It's just not fun. We don't enjoy it. And we also know that oftentimes when we do those things, we're also gearing up for the fact that we're going to get an angry text message or a phone call or email. And so we know that there's a trickle down effect, and all of those things weigh on us. Like it weighs on us that we're going to have to hurt a kid's feelings. It weighs on us that we're going to have to make parents unhappy, and then they're going to come back and it's going to be a lot of conversations. And it is really, really hard. But we make those decisions and sometimes have to do things that do hurt kids' feelings because it's our responsibility to the team to make the tough call so everyone can be successful. And I've said this to all of my teams. I say it every year, at least a couple times. The phrase goes basically like this: I love all of you, but I don't love any of you more than I love all of you, which means I love each of you as an individual, but I will never prioritize the individual over the success and long-term health of the whole. So yes, it may hurt your feelings to take you out of that stunt or move you to a position that you didn't previously have, or take something away from you, or even take someone off the team. I will do it if I have to do it for the team to be successful. And I have seen some kids do that or have that happen and then they quit. And I've seen some kids, I actually have a kiddo on my level 4 team this year who did not get to compete with her team at Summit because she was injured and she wasn't landing her skills as successfully as she should have been going into D2 Summit. And so she was an alternate, and she did not get to take the mat with us. And we won. And she handled it with such poise and such grace, and is now back on the team and is contributing in every way. She's killing it. So I've seen athletes do that too, even after we've had to hurt their feelings and have those harsh conversations. Number 4 is that you as the parent can be the biggest positive impact on your athlete, or the biggest negative impact on your athlete and their mindset. The conversations that you have in the car ride home, the questions that you ask them about practice, the things that you say about their teammates and their coaches, the things that you say on the phone when you're calling your best friend and your athlete is in the car and can hear it. All of those things have an impact on your kiddo. Even if you say, hey, you're not allowed to tell anyone I said this, or this is just between you and me, all of those things have an impact, and oftentimes can have an impact in a negative way or a positive way. If they're getting in the car and they're having a rough practice and you're saying, you know what, it's going to get better, and your coaches are going to make the right decisions that are best for the team and best for you, and you're following that plan, especially if you believe in it. Now, if you truly don't believe in that plan, if you can't get on there and support the coaches, and you truly don't believe that they have the team's best interest at heart, then you should be going in and having a conversation with those coaches and figuring out how you can get on the same page. And if you truly cannot get on the same page, then you probably shouldn't be at that gym. And I actually had this conversation with a parent recently where I was like, look, if you are unhappy, and this was actually directed towards me as a coach, if you are unhappy and you truly think I don't care about your child, which I absolutely do care about this kiddo, if you don't think that I care about your child, then you probably should not finish the season, because I do, but then we're not going to be aligned, and then the messages are going to get crossed. So you need to know that you as a parent can have a profound impact on your athlete. And even though you may feel like as a parent, trust me, I have kids, that they are not listening to you. They absolutely are. And the things that they're going to remember are the negative things that you say about them, about their teammates, about their coaches. Those are going to stick with them like baggage. And yes, they don't listen to all the positive things. It takes a lot more positives to outweigh those negative statements. So you've got to make sure that you're focusing on those positive things and lifting your athlete up. There are so many times as a coach that I have been internally frustrated with, because I have an athlete that has a mental block or struggling with something, and we get them feeling good, and then I see the glare from the parent room window, and they look over and they see it because they didn't throw a skill the one time, and you just watch the confidence drain away from the athlete that you were building up the whole time, because that athlete knows they're going to go get in the car and they're going to get yelled at. You can have a really profound impact as a parent. And we as gym owners and as coaches truly want you to hear that and take that with you. We need to partner together to make your athletes better. We need to be on the same sheet of music so we're not fighting against one another. Number 5, yes, this is a business, but we are people, and we really do actually have feelings. We run a business because we have rent, because we have payroll, because we have insurance and utilities. But we're also human beings, which means we are going to make mistakes, which means our coaches are going to make mistakes. Our coaches who are coaching, yes, they're doing a job, but they do have feelings. And I will tell you that harsh words, talking behind people's backs, nasty emails, public criticism on Facebook, even if it's subtext, it hurts more than you know. I have seen many great gym owners and coaches get out of the sport because they can't emotionally compartmentalize the negativity that occurs on social media or occurs in a review or in a nasty email. And we do feel those things. Even myself, who people oftentimes think is, very stoic and I don't have emotions and I just compartmentalize everything really well. I perseverate on those things. I think about them. I can tell you, I can vividly remember a conversation with a parent I was like my second year owning a gym. And I had a parent who said some really it was just parting shots. They were leaving to go to another gym, and they basically said, you just don't care about your athletes at all, and you're a horrible person, and just said all these things to me. And I still vividly remember it and vividly remember those feelings. And even though I knew that they were false, because I've been doing free private lessons with their daughter to try and get them up to par and get them to where they needed to be, because I knew they wanted to be on our world's team. And I'd invested a lot of time and energy into this kid. And I did care about them. And I none of those things were accurate. It still hurt. It still stuck with me. And I trust me, those emails and those reviews and those messages and things, they stick with you. And we really do have feelings. So if you don't want, you wouldn't want your own feelings to be hurt, just think about that before you send that message. Is this worded the way I want? And you know what? If you're going to send a harsh email, wait 24 hours would be my request. If you're going to make a post or send a message or you're feeling particularly heated, I would highly recommend you wait 24 hours, because A, we're both going to be more calm, and B, wait 24 hours and then write it all out. And now you have the luxury of something like ChatGPT. Copy and paste that thing into ChatGPT and say, is this worded professionally and kindly? Or, prompt it, and it'll get back to you. It'll be like, hey, you're a little harsh here, here, and here. And it'll give you suggested edits. And I'm not saying you should just copy and paste the ChatGPT version, because we can all read when ChatGPT writes something now, but you can at least get feedback. Hey, okay, this is maybe a little bit aggressive. And I would prefer you do that over I sent my message to 5 other moms on the team and they all said that it was fine, because now you're airing all of that laundry to the 5 other moms on the team. So use ChatGPT because it's an unbiased opinion. But just remember, we have feelings. We're real people, and what you say does stick with us. And maybe that's your goal. Maybe you ultimately you just want us to feel a little bit of that pain. My request would be, I'm not going, like I said before, we don't intentionally hurt your kids' feelings. I'm not trying to cause you or your athletes pain. And I don't know any coaches that are, beyond the pain of growth, right? Challenging them. And so it can be really hard when someone lashes out and comes at you. Now, I understand the mama bear idea. I totally get that people lose their temper, and that's why I think you wait, give it time. Number 6, we build routines and assign roles to help the teams succeed. So when we're putting together a team, we're not putting together a team to punish Susie or to make it so mom knows that she didn't do enough private lessons or whatever. We just don't do that. Now, I can't speak for every single gym, but I can speak to the gyms that I work with, which is over 140 gyms in the US and Canada. And that's actively right now. I've probably worked with, between conferences and everything else, probably close to 500 gyms. And there are almost no gyms that I've ever met that have said to me, oh man, when we have tryouts, we just stick it to the kids. We just really put them in their place. And our goal is for every kid to be crying when they hear their team announcement. No one is doing that. In fact, we spend more time worrying about, oh my gosh, this kid's going to be really devastated, and we don't want them to quit. They're so talented, but it's just not the right season for them to be on this level or be on this team or this age group or flying. They'll fly on this team, but they wouldn't on this team. There are so many dynamics to building a team that it's not easy to do. And we do it to make the teams successful. That's ultimately our goal. And there are mathematical equations that have to go into place. We have to have flyers, we have to have bases, we have to have back spots, we have to have a certain number of tumbling skills. There are all sorts of things that we have to take into account to make sure teams are successful. And that is ultimately what we're always trying to do. When we're practicing, we're trying to set the teams up for success. We're not trying to punish kids. We're not trying to hurt people. We just want the teams to be successful, just like you do. Number 7, negative social media, Google, Facebook, etc. reviews hurt us more than you know. It may feel really good to put that 1-star review or to leave a negative review. But the reality is that statistically speaking, people are more likely to leave a review when it's negative than they are when they're having a positive experience. And the problem is that as a small business, a single 1-star review takes upwards of 10 reviews to overcome. And even when you have one, if you get any 1-star review ever, then you can't be a 5-star business. You'll be like a 4.9. And so those things have a lasting impact and take a massive amount of effort to overcome for a business. So while we may have made a mistake, I have received negative reviews that I've read and I've been like, dang, we messed up. And I've done everything I can to make it right. But what we want to do is we want to deliver a great experience for our clients. And if you have a concern, we want to work through those things. But we'd like to work through those things in the privacy of our gym. And even when you have a bad experience, and this is actually for all small businesses, like you will never see me leave a 1-star review on a business unless it really, truly deserves it. Now, there are a couple like scam businesses that are out there trying to like scam business owners out of hard-earned money, get them to take loans and things that they shouldn't take, or payday loan things. Like all of them, they can have a 1-star review as far as I'm concerned. But the average small business, that's not what I would never do that, because it impacts them in such a big way. And especially when reviews are done maliciously or they are exaggerated, which I've seen happen to gyms, and I've not had that happen to me anytime recently, but I did have that happen in the past. It's really hard to get those fake reviews taken down. Like, it's not an easy process. And actually I did get kind of a random, I don't even know where it came from, review this summer. Dream Camps had a perfect 5-star rating and randomly got a review this summer during our very first camp. It was in the middle of camp, and someone left us a 1-star review and said, "My friend went and said it was terrible." We were in the middle of camp. And I mean, maybe someone said that, but was that our fault, or was it because the food was bad? Like, I don't know. How am I supposed to fix that problem? Right? So those things last, and they hurt. And I know I'm literally exposing my throat here, right? Because I'm sure there's people out there that are like, oh, well, I know this hurts Dan's feelings. So yes, someone could, I guess, go and do that. Now, I'm hoping that everyone who takes the time to listen to my podcast, they're not motivated by that. But just know that in general with small businesses, when you leave negative reviews, like it hurts. It hurts the business. It hurts us emotionally. Like, we think about those things. And trust me, I'm speaking to you from my experience and from the other gym owners and other small businesses that I know. Number 8, we are trying to make everyone happy while also running a successful business. And the reality is that's impossible. Every single day, we're trying to juggle making every parent and every athlete and all of the staff and everyone happy while also being a solid business that runs well, that has systems and has processes that people follow and people do the right thing. And it's not an easy task. It's actually really, really, really hard to do. So even though it may seem like this is a simple solution, or you could do this very easily, it's not. It's not a simple thing to do, to juggle all of those concerns and make everyone happy. And so there are some times that we have to make decisions that we know some parents are not going to like, or some athletes are not going to like. But we have to do it because we believe it is the best decision for the business, or we believe that the majority of people are going to be the most happy, or we believe that it is the best financial decision. Like, we have to make decisions with the goal of making everyone happy, knowing that we can never achieve it. Number 9, we go to bed thinking about our athletes that are struggling. Like, I think and care for my athletes on a very deep level. The amount of times that I have been on the phone late at night talking to my co-coaches about a particular athlete who's struggling with something, maybe it's in the gym or even outside the gym, or our team is not successful. The amount of time that we've spent investing and looking at the routine and evaluating things, and how do we change the culture, and how do we do these different things? We invest so much time and energy into your kids. You probably don't know how much we are spending investing. So when your child is struggling, it keeps us up at night. It makes it hard for us to sleep. It makes it hard for us to focus on other things. When they're sad or injured or doubting themselves, it hurts us too, like it hurts you. We are also going through that experience with you. It's not just about the stunts of the routine, though. We worry about your kids' health. We worry about their school. And on top of that, when we're worrying about one kid, we're also having to worry about all the other kids on the team, because how is this experience going to impact them? It is a very, very emotionally taxing job to be a coach for these kids. Number 10, those of us with kids spend more time with your child than we probably do with our own. I'm going to talk to you from my position. I have 3 kids. My sons don't cheer. My sons go to school during the day. They come home at night, and they come home around 3:30 p.m. I leave around 4 at the latest to go to the gym, and then I coach until 9:30, and then I come home and go to bed. On weekends, I go to competitions or I have extra practices. I spend more time raising, coaching, parenting my athletes than I do my own children. And that weighs heavy on us. We truly do care. We do this because we care, because we know the value. And I firmly believe that my kids get amazing quality from me, even though they don't get as much quantity. So when I am there and I am involved, I am fully present and I am engaged and I am a good father. But that's hard. Like when we sacrifice birthdays, special events, we miss so many different things for our athletes or for our kids, our own kids, to be there for our teams and do the things that are necessary for our athletes. It is a huge sacrifice that is worth making in the long run, but it is a hard one. And I think it's important to recognize that sacrifice. And if coaches that don't have kids, they're missing out on their a lot of them are missing out on their opportunity to date, to have a relationship. Like this sport in and of itself makes it really hard to have a significant other. Because when your significant other gets off of their day job, you go to work, you go to coach. And when you come home, what are you doing? You're watching routines, you're sending emails, you're sending text messages. Like this is an all-consuming sport for your coaches too. And it can make it very hard to have a life outside of cheerleading. I hope that those of you who've listened to this have had moments where this has resonated with you. And if you're a parent listening to this and it's resonated with you, like, thank you for listening. And say thank you to your coach or to your gym owner. Just say, hey, you know what? I really appreciate the effort that you're putting in. Those little thank yous go a really long way. They mean a ton to us. It feels great to know that we're appreciated and to know that the work that we're doing is valued. If you're in this position where you've been like, man, Dan, you got that one. I'm right there right now. I see you. I hear you. And if you need help, reach out. You can find me on Facebook. You can shoot me an email at dan@nextgenowners.com. Like, if you're really in need of help, reach out or come to my gym. Come meet me at the CBA. Let's talk. Let's help you find solutions to these problems. There's a lot of people out there who've been there too. All right, everyone. I know this was a heavy one, but I hope you enjoyed it. With that, we'll catch you on the next episode.